mayor tried to argue that. The 30 days was the problem. I only have 5 minutes, so I'll make it as fast as possible. The last meeting on March 3rd, we ended with the mayor stating we needed a plan, and that was to sit down expeditiously with the city attorney and city mayor to present a business plan in order for the council to decide if I deserved an extension. I went home and spent the night after the meeting preparing my nonprofit's plan to present ASAP to the city attorney and city mayor. The next day, I was finalizing the plan. First thing in the morning, I received an email from the city council and city attorney stating that in order to even consider sitting down with me, I had to send them a long list of detailed information included, and I have that here, which is all the personal information. After I sent that, they would decide if they would sit down with me in order to present my plan. That's not what we spoke about at the last meeting when we left. I'm confused again how something was once said by our mayor on the record and it quickly changed overnight. The agreement was to bring the plan, sit down, and move quickly. Much of the information demanded for in the email is completely irrelevant to an extension for relocation. At the last meeting, the mayor also stated that I had many complaints in front of her. I was confused then again because I had properly filed the correct form for all open records pertaining to the rescue or the residents. The complaints were in her private email, and that's why we were not included. They were not included because they were not made yet. The email complaints were from February 28th, March 3rd, and the 4th. The letter was sent out on February 10th. Last animal control complaint was dated back to 5/31/2023 about chickens, pet bunnies in the neighborhood that were loose. I have Victoria Harris here, where she admits that the chickens and the bunnies are hers. That's the Providence School, the private lady, that's her chickens and bunnies, so y'all can have that. The last complaint to code enforcement was on January 2021. Those are the last complaints about Steadfast. Then the next one was on February 17th. So I'm not fighting the relocation. We've been working very hard and made a lot of progress to relocate. But I don't understand why one thing was said about a plan that I was to sit down with you two and it changed so drastically overnight. I don't understand why personal emails were sent to your personal email the day of the last city council meeting. I don't feel like it's all here. So you can make that clear, but it's all here. We've got all of the animals relocated.
Jessica, let me give you some advice, if it's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
This council has done nothing but try to work with you. We treated you with the utmost respect at our last meeting.
No, you didn't.
It
was filmed.
Okay, I know it was filmed on YouTube. I watched it afterwards to be sure that there was no issue. And I can tell you that this council treated you with the utmost of respect. We allowed you to speak when we didn't have that on the agenda. We allowed everybody who wanted to speak, with the exception of a few who were kind of repeating the same thing over and over, the opportunity to speak. That public comment went on for almost an hour. We did ask you to meet with Rob. I was never to be a part of that meeting. We did ask you to meet with Rob. We did ask Rob to gain all that information. It was a business plan, and generally with the business plan,
You need to know my personal funds and my accounts.
we need to know who you mentioned that you're a 501c3. We just asked for evidence of that. That should be able to be
That is,
printed off.
that's public, you can get that, you can access that
We
online.
asked you to provide that.
But that's
Jessica.
my personal funds.
We asked you to provide some basic information so that we would understand who is part of you mentioned the board of directors, who's part of the board, how can we help you? And we've been met with nothing but resistance. And we are doing our best to try to help you now.
You have it. Here's my progress, here's the emails.
Okay, but we're at the point now, we said we would discuss this on the 17th, and please
I
provide
don't need an
all.
extension, here's what I have, I don't need
We
an
asked you to
extension.
please provide all of that prior to this meeting, and it was not provided.
No. When we were in the last city council meeting, you said on the record, I was to meet with these two gentlemen the next few days. I prepared my plan. I was hit with the email the next morning.
But you knew this meeting was coming up, and we had to have the information
No,
of what your
no.
plan was.
No, ma'am.
We did talk
You
about
didn't
that.
need this information, you needed
Okay.
You needed my articles of incorporation, LLC operating agreement, names and addresses of current members and board members, purchase and sale agreement or lease. It's in the county. You don't need to know where it is. Identify each animal currently under your care, the species, the date, my current personal funds available, anticipated income and donations. I don't see how that's relevant. I just needed 30 extra days, but we've already relocated, so I appreciate y'all. And here's that. So, thank you for all of your support, I appreciate y'all.
Mayor,
Yes,
can I respond briefly?
yes, please.
My thought, when I wanted to schedule the meeting and ask this information from Mr. Piscata, was so that when we did sit down, we'd have information that we could talk about and come up with a reasonable time frame. When I deal with a corporation or a limited liability company, I need to know who's the one, who speaks for that company.
I thought that you sent us a copy of the email. None of us had any resistance or any concern with the email. They were all perfectly acceptable questions.
The questions that came up 2 weeks ago was how many animals, and so according to the Department of Natural Resources, there's a law that's passed. Those laws identify the animals that she takes in, the type of animal it is, what the injury is, and the release date.
And that's all to be submitted to the Department of Natural Resources.
Yes,
So that should be information readily available.
That was, so really, all I looked at was the law, so we would know what type of animal we were dealing with, and what was the anticipated release date, which I thought was reasonable.
That is very reasonable.
The other thing that came up was the number of enclosures that would have to be built, and the funding that was available. So I thought it was reasonable to find out, what type of enclosures do you need, and is the funding gonna be available to do that? Again, to talk about a reasonable time frame. All I was looking to do is, when I did sit down with Ms. Piscata, I had some information, some data, so that we could reasonably discuss how long this should really take.
But she never even emailed back to say, why do you need this information, or contacted your office to ask.
And I thought if there was a problem with getting this information provided to me, she could have given me a call or sent an email. I never heard anything. So again, my sole goal was to get the data and the information for this council to make a rational decision on what would be a reasonable time frame.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, I'm sorry, did you have a question?
I mean, if I understood her correctly, she said all the animals are indoors, so therefore, that's it, correct? I mean,
That is, I believe what she just said. So,
I remove my motion and we'll just move forward with kiss today.
she gave you proof that the animals are gone, right?
These all appear to be photographs of the exterior of the house. I understand this is also.
That's the new property.
That's the new property.
I understand she's also maintaining animals inside the house. So basically, what we're talking about here is not having a wildlife rehabilitation facility in a residential district. If she still has a wildlife rehabilitation facility in the neighborhood district, then she's still not in compliance. Now, as far as the types of animals, and the number of animals that you can keep at your house in the residential district, that's in the animal control ordinance. So she's just like any other residential citizen about how many animals and what type of animals she can keep. So I don't know what's inside the house at this point.
all right, Michael, you had made a motion to extend through the end of March. She said tonight that the animals were all gone, but we only have photos of the exterior. Do you want to leave that motion on the table so that if there are any other animals that she needs to relocate, if she's got a location Or do you want to just, the deadline, I believe in the letter was March the 12th, Ron, is that correct?
I'm
The
sorry.
letter, the original letter, I don't have that in front
Right,
of
I
me.
think that's correct, and I think the idea was is that we were gonna give at least until this meeting
Yeah.
to make a decision about how much longer.
Okay, so do you want to withdraw that motion and just consider the matter closed, they're relocated, or do you want to give that extra 2 weeks, should there be any animals on the inside?
Yeah, we can give it, I can give it, we'll give it 2 more
I
weeks.
think
To make
that's,
sure
yeah.
that, if there's any animals that are being triaged or whatever, so the house, it could be moved as well.
Okay, so you would go back to your original motion, giving her through, the end of the, business day on the 31st. Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second, is there any further discussion?
No, I would say that, I mean, from the council standpoint, on my behalf, that I don't think we were in any way, in any form or fashion, I don't wanna make it feel like we're against what they do or what you guys do. We totally support that, and I would support that, but it's a neighborhood, people live there. I think what she's done has been great enough to grow to where it is, and it's just outgrowing itself, and it just cannot be there, so. Any friends and family that's out there for, just, I mean, let them know that it's not like we're just being nasty towards the situation. I just think neighbors and friends in that neighborhood just can't take it, but I know y'all have done the work, and I've seen some of the work y'all done, congratulations on that. Appreciate the gentleman that's helped her from out of town, and what you've done, I've seen you on Facebook, but, I mean, I think it's just got to this point, and it's just peaked out. And, you know, but, thank y'all.
All right, any other comments? All right, all in favor of the motion that's been, made and the second, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, all right, thank you.
I got a question.
Public comment is over, I'm sorry. All right, we are moving now on to old business.